They're set for the last. Ready? Perfect day it's been for racing. They stand well. They'd given the thumbs up from behind the gates, but one of the riders was called out at the absolute death knell and needed some help, but they're off and they're racing this time. No Pia Perfect Bubbles, the last of them away. Strictly Cash Caporetto won the start, but the big fellow Frappuccino is going to look for the lead, and he's cruising across with Buckland shortly after the start. Frappuccino settles on top by 3/4 Buckland. Strictly Cash Caporetto fourth, and the pace nice and keen here at the 1,000. I'm Napoti's on the inside of Snip of Gossip when they go up to the far corner, and outside of those Classic Ruler, a length and a half behind them, the Lucky Chip. Getting back the King's Uncle, Sweet Admiration, Perfect Bubbles. Followed further back then by G Babe, and Nickel Play with only one behind it, No Pia, as they work down the side. 700 left to go. Frappuccino calls the shots. Out by a length on Buckland. Strictly Cash. Caporetto's travelling in fourth spot, covering extra ground outside of it there. Classic Ruler. I'm Napoti strung up near the rail. Then the Lucky Chip, Snip of Gossip. The King's Uncle looking for the short way home. Followed further back then by Perfect Bubbles, but into the home straight they set sail, and Frappuccino about to be given his head by Pike, the leader by a length on Strictly Cash. The Lucky Chip runs on down the outskirts at the 200. Frappuccino, the Lucky Chip, Frappuccino, no run. I'm Napoti behind them trying to get clear. Frappuccino, the Lucky Chip, Frappuccino, the inside, the outside, the Lucky Chip. They're going to go to it with the bob of the heads. The Lucky Chip and Frappuccino will leave it to the judge to sort out. The heads are out of sync. I'm Napoti didn't get a lot of room behind them. Might have grabbed third from Strictly Cash. Nickel Play never got into it really. In behind them, the King's Uncle, followed by a Snip of Gossip, No Pia, Classic Ruler. Caporetto was next, then Sweet Admiration. Followed further back when they'd pulled up G Babe. It's amongst the last home with Buckland, and tailed off a long last is Perfect Bubbles. Photo result to the last of the day. Frappuccino, the Lucky Chip, and Frappuccino toe-to-toe to the line. Little in it, heads up, heads down. Pike will get it on Frappuccino. Getting the head down on the line, right at the psychological moment. Straight to the front here for Frappuccino. And a stride out, the Lucky Chip on the line where it needed to be. Frappuccino, the relation, of course, of Maraschino, and such a grand horse he has been for the Luciani Roberts combination. Frappuccino goes back to back. Two's got the photo in a very tight go from 10 the Lucky Chip, 1 I'm Napoti, and 15 Strictly Cash. 2:10, 1:15. Machino comes sit beside me gelding. Frappuccino raced by Trish Roberts, M, Mrs J, P and Mrs A Lucy, also Mrs A and A Planky, Jack Luciani, Jonathan Cross as well, having a real good thrill as owners of Frappuccino with Lou and Trish Roberts. Frappuccino getting the job done for the second time from 10 runs. Second home, 10 the Lucky Chip by Bradbury's Luck, Brett Pope, Sean McGruddy, and I'm Napoti by Gingerbread Man, Brad Senior, Lucy Fiore. Third home, and probably with a little excuse or two as well. It was a short half head, 1 3/4, and the time of 1:23.64, 35.58. The back end 600 in a desperate go to the last on the card. Okay, he's an emerging type now with back-to-back victories as we go to Lockie downstairs in the yard. He seems to have clicked beautifully with Willie Pike.
Yes, he has, Darren. Willie Pike jumps on Frappuccino and he makes it back-to-back wins. Lou, what were Willie's words post that win last start? Because he clearly gets along with him very well.
Yeah, look, he said, look, before I'd go anywhere, probably condolences to the Gannon family. I knew Pete well, and it was a great man on course, so very sad to see him go. But yeah, look, Willie just said it was hard to believe he was still a 12 or 10 start maiden, and we went out with a plan on what we were going to do, and that went out the window 2 strides out of the gate. So today we both just agreed there were no plans. The whole idea with him is to try and get him to just chill under himself a little bit. He looked like he went a bit harder than what I hoped today in himself, but he's another 12-month work in progress. As simple as that.
What do you do with him now? Is he the type of horse that needs racing to learn what it's all about? Does he need to race that fierceness out of him?
I don't know about race it out of him. I just think he just needs to, when he gets confidence. I mean, the day after he won last start in his yard, and even in the week after it, you could just see in himself he was a more confident horse. He just had a bit of swagger about him. So that's where you got to go with him. And I think the more he does it, the more the better he'll get.
Do you look to stretch him out in trip now?
No, not yet. Just wait till he learns to do things properly, and he's more likely to do them properly in this sort of distance.
How's his brother Maricino tracking ahead of the Northerly?
Yeah, going pretty good.
Always nice to keep the boss happy?
Oh, if you can do that, you're a better man than me.
Well done.
Thanks, mate.
There's Lou Luciani after the win of Frappuccino, that boss being his lovely partner Trish. So hopefully that puts a smile on Trish's face, because she absolutely adores these horses that she breeds. And Frappuccino, as we all know, is the younger brother of Maricino, who we'll see on Saturday afternoon in the Group 1 Tab Touch Northerly Stakes, Scott.
Certainly will, Lockie. Looking forward to that on the weekend. And of course, for Willie Pike, who's having a good chat to these connections here, for him it means that he's going to turn up to the races ready to ride 50 kilos for Storyville. Gee, I don't envy that task.
No, not at all. So he was 52.9 kilos on Saturday afternoon after the last, or Saturday morning, I should say, when you interviewed him after the last on Saturday afternoon, Scott. So it'll be interesting to see how that weight is coming down, because 50 kilos, it's not an easy task.
Certainly not. And Willie Pike's just jumping on the scales right now. And obviously it's Pike in the last, of course. It's Frappuccino today. It was Miss Sky High on the weekend. Harold Taylor almost won't walk about with the helmet. Willie Pike joins us now. Pikey, let's start with the 50 kilos for Storyville on the weekend. How are you tracking?
Yeah, no worries at all. I'm down to 52. Obviously the diet gets a little more strict in the last few days. Hopefully I have a kilo or thereabouts to lose on the day, and we're looking good.
Talk us through the last 150 metres, because at stages there he looked like he was in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I thought he was waiting a little bit, especially early in the straight. Then when Shooter McGrady joined me on the outside, he fought hard, but at the same time I was wondering where the post was. It just didn't seem to be getting to us.
Looks like he's still pretty keen in his races.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a balance between maybe I've got to let him use his stride a smidge more, or what, I don't know, but I'm not too fussed, as long as we end up at front at the right end.
Enjoy the next few days as much as you can, mate. Well done.
Yeah, cheers.
There's Willie Pike rounding out the day as a winner. He combines with Lou Luciani and Frappuccino, who is finally putting it all together. Scott, as we said pre-race, it's taken him some time, but Willie Pike clearly gets along with the horse well, but we could tell that he was just a work in progress.
And you can see with horses like him, like with your dad's horse there in Profit and Power, they're going to make their way through the grades, because they've got a beautiful on-speed racing style. They're going to find days where there's conditions to suit. They're only going to get better and better with more racing. So can't see a reason why you wouldn't be following him all the way through.
Now, I've known you for a long time, maybe too long at times, but I know that the Northerly Stakes is one of your absolute favourites. How are the excitement levels 3 or 4 days out?
Well, if you know me well, Lockie, you'll know already who I'm going to be tipping, because
Storyville.
Last year it was Zip Away. Year before that it would have been whichever the 3-year-old was, whether it was Arcadia Queen that year, whether it was KC, whether it was any of them. I'm a strict 3-year-old in the Northerly man, so there's only one of them in the field. Makes my job pretty easy, but I must admit I was very tempted to tip Super Smink. I thought she was exceptionally good in the railway.
We can't wait for day 4 of the Pinnacles on Saturday afternoon. Be sure to tune in to all the action down in Albany tomorrow afternoon on Racing WA TV. But for now, it's good night from us.